An earthquake shakes awake half of Washington, the third now on the West Coast in just a week. What this means for Oregon's fault lines. And she lived in America since she was 1 year old. Tonight, why her friends say ICE followed, detained, and may even deport a Cornelius mother.
She deserves to come home.
And a Lentz woman tries for 3 years to get a permit to spruce up a boring bridge over I-205. Why the city only took notice after she took matters into her own hands. Tonight on KGW News at 6.
First, though, what a way to end the work week here. If you thought rush hour would be winding down by about now, not today. Our traffic nightmare continues here at the top of the hour as we look live at I-84 from our ODOT cameras.
If you are wondering what caused all the mess, you can blame a number of crashes and various other traffic issues really around the city. I-84 East is also shut down from I-5 to 33rd Avenue, that is. It's been closed for hours. Police say a person is in a mental health crisis on an overpass, and they are working to resolve everything safely. A reminder, if you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, help is available 24 hours a day. The number to call, 1-800-273-8255. That's 273-TALK. In the meantime, you want to be patient and you have to hit the roads anytime tonight. We can help you plan your trip at kgw.com or on the free KGW app.
So people come into our country illegally, we're taking them out legally. It's very simple.
There you see our president, President Trump, promising deportation raids as early as this Sunday, focusing on several large cities. They are making headlines nationally, of course, but here locally, federal immigration agents are also targeting people for possible deportation.
Friends of a Cornelius woman say ICE officers followed and detained her on Wednesday. She's lived in the U.S. since she was a year old, but was targeted by ICE after 2 DUI arrests.
Today, she's in a detention center in Tacoma. KGW's Morgan Romero talked to her best friend. And Morgan, this best friend wants to draw some attention to this, right?
Yeah, Dan and Kathy, Kashmir Staten is trying to raise awareness about the fact this is happening here in Oregon and around the country. Her best friend, Betsy Moreno, is in ICE detention center in Tacoma, held pending removal to Mexico. She was born in Mexico, but has been here practically her entire life. Staten says Betsy was once protected under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, known as DACA.
Hi, Pumpkin.
Kashmir Staten got the call.
Hello.
She was dreading.
Hello.
One from her best friend, Betsy Moreno, telling her she was in the ICE detention center in Tacoma.
She would have nightmares at night. She would call me in the middle of the night and say that she woke up screaming because she was scared that, she was going to be taken away from her children.
Betsy told Staten a black truck was following her from Cornelius to Hillsborough on Tuesday. ICE agents approached as she left this McDonald's with her daughter. Staten says Betsy asked to see a warrant, and officers told her if she didn't show her ID, they'd take her kids. She gave them her Mexican passport and was arrested in front of her children.
She deserves to come home. She deserves to be heard. Her story deserves to be out there. When she called me, she said there are so many women in here just like me, and under the same circumstances.
ICE said in a statement to us, Moreno is a Mexican citizen who's here illegally, though she's lived here since she was 1.
This is her home.
But her DACA protection was revoked a couple years ago after she got her second DUI. A judge ordered she be removed from the country in 2017 when she didn't show for her immigration hearing. A warrant was put out for her arrest after she didn't show to court over the second DUI.
So she doesn't know anyone in Mexico. She doesn't have any family in Mexico. She doesn't know the area.
How many people do you know who have a DUI and who got a chance to get diversion and move on with their lives? And then how many were permanently separated from their families?
Nonprofit Pueblo Unido was made aware and is sending an attorney to sit down with Moreno and other immigrants in Tacoma next week.
So she's right now fighting for her freedom and the opportunity to stay in this country with her children.
Founder Cameron Koval says this very story is playing out all over the country as ICE ramps up enforcement, targeting people with existing removal orders.
These sorts of intimidation scare tactics happen all the time, and evidently they'll take advantage of any vulnerability that somebody might have, including threatening children.
Koval says in general, when ICE is following people, they have an idea if someone was a prior DACA recipient or had an ongoing immigration case, or missed a hearing.
The messaging is definitely intended to scare as many people as possible, but I think it's actually pretty business as usual, targeted enforcement on people with existing removal orders.
ICE said in that statement to us earlier, they prioritize the, quote, arrest and removal of unlawfully present aliens who pose a threat to national security, public safety, and border security. They also say their enforcement actions are targeted and lead-driven. Dan?
Morgan, thank you. An earthquake shook thousands of people in Washington awake early this morning. It's the third major earthquake to hit the West Coast in a week's time. It was a 4.6 magnitude quake and hit just before 3 in the morning near the town of Monroe, which is east of Everett. It was centered near a fault line that's been seen heightened seismic activity in the past, and the shaking was felt as far away as Olympia and Wenatchee, more than 100 miles away.
All of a sudden, I thought we had a burglar because it sounded like somebody just threw all my silverware onto the onto the floor of the kitchen and stuff, and grabbed my gun and ran in the living room, and spices on the floor and pictures that, just messed up a little bit, but tried to go back to sleep. Didn't work.
There were some aftershocks. The biggest was 3.5. Right now, no reports of any widespread damage. A woman did send photos to our Seattle sister station showing cracks in the foundation of her home.
All right, so we had the California quakes recently, now the one up near Seattle. If you're anything like we are, you're wondering, with all these quakes lately, what about a major quake here? What would it do? What if it knocked out all the infrastructure, for instance, like cell phone towers? What would you do? What would happen next? KGW's Joe Ranieri live in downtown for us. And Joe, you learned that there's actually a lot of help for us around the city.
There's plenty of help in case of a natural disaster. Now, we always think about having an emergency kit inside your car or your home, but what about if the cell phones don't work because the cell towers are down? Well, in case of a natural disaster, there are dozens of communication sites around the city. The earthquake that shook the Seattle area Friday morning may not have impacted us here in the Rose City, but what if there was one big enough that made using our cell phones impossible for hours, maybe even days? There's already plans in place for when that just-in-case day comes. Laura Hall is a volunteer with Arbor Lodge Emergency Team.
The Neighborhood Emergency Team program trains people like me, people like you, non-professional folks to respond during an emergency. So we are trained to do it safely. We can do basic light search and rescue.
Hall, along with other volunteers, are also trained in triage and radio communication. She's part of a program that's unique to Portland. It's called Basic Earthquake Emergency Communication Nodes, or BEACON for short.
The BEACON program is a great way to get and give information, but the first thing you want to do is reach out to the people around you. Talk to your neighbors, talk to your coworkers, talk to anyone around you who appears to need help.
Most of the sites are located inside parks or schools.
It's important because we need to be able to communicate if our phones stop working and the computers stop working. So if I need help, I can go there and request help.
In case of a natural disaster like a big earthquake, volunteers would then reach out through radio communication to first responders who will be able to reach someone who might need help. Hall says in the wake of natural disasters, people have a way of jumping into action.
We have an amazing way as humans of figuring it out
and making sure those in need aren't alone. Hall also adds how important it is to have a family plan in case of disaster. She says have a place to meet like inside your house or have a backup plan too, just in case. Dan and Kathy, back to you.
Joe, thank you. What about what these recent earthquakes mean for us here in Oregon? KGW's Kristen Severance checked with a geology professor.
With all of the recent earthquakes along the West Coast, we wanted to talk to a local expert. So we called Chris Goldfinger with Oregon State University. Our first question, should we be worried here in Oregon? His short answer, no. He said all of the activity in Washington and California, it doesn't mean anything for the fault lines in Oregon, and it doesn't signal any sort of immediate activity for the Cascadia subduction zone. Our next question, are there fault lines in the Portland area? His answer, yes. Most of us think of Portland as just being part of that Cascadia subduction zone, but he mentioned the West Hills fault line. He said if an earthquake was triggered there, it could be devastating. We're talking about a magnitude 7 quake. And our next question, will we see more earthquakes? His answer, not in Oregon. He said the faults in Oregon are moving slower than the faults in California. And our last question, can an earthquake be a good thing? Now, this answer surprised me. So our expert said, even if there is an earthquake, if there is, of course, no injuries or property damage, that yes, an earthquake can be a good thing because it reminds people that they happen and it reminds people that they need to be prepared. We have a lot of great information and even more question and answers from our expert on KGW.com right now. Back to you.
KGW.com, of course, Kristen mentioning there, great resource if you need some help planning for an earthquake. We have an article up right now on how to survive for weeks on your own after an emergency.